Felt material, it's like leather on the outside, the small version of the Taschenbegleiter. Hello. Today we are talking about a very specific kind of journal, and that is the academic journal. Because oftentimes journal can mean really anything. So there are different kinds of journals. Some people use them for personal entries, like diary style. It's the good old Dear Diary, this is what happened today, this is how I feel. Or it's a journal that contains secrets and stories and life things. But there are so many kinds of journals out there. Some people keep fitness journals. Like for example, I've been to the gym and I have seen bodybuilders with their little notebooks tracking things down and taking notes. And I'm sure that they refer to that as their fitness notebook or their exercise journal, whatever it is. Some people keep a commonplace journal. Some people keep a reading journal, a dream journal, a manifestation journal, or a bullet journal. There are so many kinds of journals out there, but today I want to zoom into a very specific kind, which is the academic journal. So what is an academic journal? It's basically where people take notes for their studies, but it's not just for notes. It's also for academic planning, notes that are outside of the lecture. The academic journal is not just for lecture notes and lesson note-taking, but it's really for anything academic related. Say you have a meeting with a teacher or a professor, I think that should go into the academic journal because it's all encompassing of your life studies and your academic path. Because one could say, well, an academic journal is just a notebook. It's not just a notebook. I have always kept an academic journal, and it's really for anything that is school related. For example, to-do lists or planning that is specifically catered and focuses on things that I have to do for university, or reminders, notes, memos, anything really. The academic journal could also contain a list of goals or a plan for how to reach those goals. And maybe those things could go in the planner, in a bullet journal, or in a just regular notebook. But in my life, I have always found great value in keeping an academic journal. I have kept many academic journals throughout my life. I remember in middle school, I used to keep those grid squared notebooks for every subject. I always had this big stack on my desk that was basically my big pile of school notebooks. And over time, as I progressed in my studies after high school into university, I found myself needing a journal that had to contain not only my lecture notes, but as I said, everything else that is related back to studies, but that happens outside of the classroom. So planning, memos, goals, lists, notes, everything. So I went from being a high school student that had a bunch of notebooks and a daily planner to needing something very specific for my academics, for containing all my thoughts about my academics and to really make me feel organized and on top of everything. So first year of university, I remember I bought this Midori A5. What was it? It's the one that has all the divided grid. The grid journal? Maybe. But I had this Midori notebook, wanting it to be my specific academic journal. I don't know, I think it's also because school started to be much more serious. I mean, university is something that in many countries you have to pay for. I wanted to make the most out of it and really succeed. So I got this Midori journal, I made it my academic journal, and I never looked back. In my 4 years as an undergrad student, I always kept an academic journal. And even when I finished the Midori one, I immediately substituted it with another one because I couldn't imagine not having an academic journal during my studies anymore. Having a big pile of notebooks related for every subject didn't cut it for me anymore. I needed something that contained my academic life. And I want to pause and say that my journaling system has changed so much from year to year, but really from season to season. Even now that it's September, my journaling system is so different from when it was in July, because I think that a journaling system needs to be catered for your specific needs, for your lifestyle, for your everyday life, and really for what you want to achieve in life and what you want to focus on. I think that a journaling system really speaks to what is important for me. And since school is so important for me, it always made made sense to have a journal dedicated to it. For some people, dreams are really important, or manifesting is really important, or prayer is really important. So they have prayer journals, fitness journals. Now that it's September and I'm back in school, I'm doing my master's right now, I felt again, as I do every beginning of the school year, the need to find for myself a academic journal. In the past, I used single notebooks, book-bound books, such as moleskin journals or leuchtturm journals, simply any kind of notebook that I could carry with me around in my bag as I went to campus. But now that I have 5 years of academic journaling under my belt, I felt the need to find something more sophisticated, something that really worked for me. And I'm really happy because I think I found the best academic journaling system that I could come up with ever. And I really doubt that I will find something better than this. So today we will talk about the academic journal that I have right now, my system, which is based around the Roterfaden Taschenbegleiter. And before we continue and talk about my Taschenbegleiter, I just want to say that I have always opted for analog journaling and specifically on-paper note-taking. I have always kept my academic journal analog because I need that tactile experience, that physical correlation between the brain and the paper, the hand and the pen. Being able to touch the paper and take notes in class really made me focus on what was happening around me. I remember first year of my undergrad, I saw around me everyone typing on their MacBook, writing on their Google Docs, and I really tried to make my note-taking digital, but I never really connected with that because somehow I would end up on Essence just shopping, I would be on Pinterest, or even just writing within the Google Doc or the Word document, whatever it was. I always felt disconnected from what I was writing, and later I wouldn't even remember what I wrote during the lecture, so I completely stopped. And even though everyone around me was always writing on their MacBook, I always showed up to class with my notebooks and my academic journal. When I was writing on paper, I couldn't multitask and I had to only focus on the professor talking in front of me and what I was writing in the moment. I had to listen very carefully, and after, I remember everything that was said in the lecture so clearly because I was so present in the moment, taking in and absorbing whatever was being taught. I actually attribute my good grades, not to brag, but I've always had very good grades, and I genuinely tie it back to me keeping everything around me related to school analog and on paper. I just wanted to underline the importance of note-taking on paper, especially for academic success. So just try it out and your grades will speak for themselves. So before I get into the magic and the wonders of the Taschenbegleiter, I just want to look over the different options that are possible for an academic journal, just so that you can find what works best for you. Because if the Taschenbegleiter is the best system for me, that doesn't mean that it's necessarily the one for you. I have reasons for believing so, but you might find value in these other systems. So the different setup options for an academic journal I have found to be threefold. So number one, you could have as an academic journal a book-bound notebook, and that could be just a simple A5 or A6 Midori, or it could be a ruled moleskin notebook. It could be a Hobonichi notebook. It really depends on the size that you like, the format. So that's number one. Your academic journal could be just a simple book-bound notebook. Another setup option could be a ring binder or a system that is focused on loose leaf paper. That could be a kokuyo binder or a filofax, any size that you like. The point is that you can have loose paper hanging around, you can change the order of the paper, you can change the color. It's an amazing system for school, which is I think why in elementary school we always used ring binders. It's so versatile, so flexible, and it is a really good system for an academic journal. The third setup option that I have thought of for an academic journal is an insert system, and that could be a traveler's notebook, or it could also be another kind of system. What's really popular right now? I've seen this journal everywhere. My friend sent me a TikTok about it. What was it? 1 second. Oh yeah, it's the Paper Republic, because it works with inserting different kind of notebooks, maybe moleskins. I think I've seen something like that. But anyways, the system is one where you basically have a container for different booklets or different journals that you can take in, take out, and really customize. Basically something insertable. The insert system is really really good for academics because it means that from semester to semester, you can really change what's going on in there. You're not bound by this one book that you have to put paper in or you can't put paper in, because having too much freedom is also not a good thing. I find that the ring binder is not the best because it's so much on me to customize it and organize it and keep it tidy and neat and logical. So with the insert system, you have more freedom than a book-bound notebook and less freedom than with a ring binder. So it's kind of a middle ground between the two. It's a really amazing system. So these are the 3 setup options that I think are really good for an academic journal. We have the single book-bound notebook or the ring binder, or also the insert system. And now that we have talked about different kinds of variants of an academic journal, I wanted to talk about why I think the Taschenbegleiter is the best one and really dive deep into this really niche kind of journal I don't find people talking about so often. So I'm really excited to just yap about this. The Taschenbegleiter would fit into the 3rd category. It's an insert system kind of setup. Taschenbegleiter means pocket companion. Taschen in German means bag or pocket. Begleiter is companion, and that's just so cute. First off, it's by the German brand Roterfaden. Roterfaden means, I think, red thread, because I think that the first models had this significantly red band around the notebook, and it comes in different sizes. There's a small version, there's a medium version, there's a large version, there's really big ones and really small ones. So for example, this is the small version. Usually there is a leather kind of outside cover and inside it's felted. That's the classic kind, but I know that they have different ones that have suede on the inside and different materials instead of leather. I think there's a vegan leather one. They come in different colors. The leather could be brown, but it could be black. It could be orange. It could be blue. And inside the felt could be pink. It could be yellow. It could be gray. It's not even a boring kind of visual journal. But what is interesting about it is not its size. It's not the fact that it comes in small ones, medium ones, large ones. The really interesting and unique thing about this specific system is the clips. Okay, I was talking about something and then my camera died. Where was I? The Taschenbegleiter. The most special thing about this Taschenbegleiter is the metal clip system. You see the 2 sides are felt and there are these wonderful pockets on each side. Depending on the size of the Taschenbegleiter, there will be multiple pockets or just a few. It really depends. On top and on the bottom, there are these metal clips. Do you see them? We have these wonderful metal clips and these are a big deal. They hold on to the notebook that you insert. Some of the Taschenbegleiters have 2 clips, 3 clips, multiple clips. It's not just one kind of Taschenbegleiter, but they all have these metal clips. I'm gonna show you how it works. So basically, you open up the clips and then you open your notebook in the middle. You close the clips so that they hold on to the middle of the notebook. And there you go. Your notebook is nice and secure and now it's part of your Taschenbegleiter. And that happens again and again for all 3 of the clips. You could also not use a notebook. You could use a paper pocket, something that can hold on to miscellaneous things, or maybe a big sheet of A5 or A4 paper that you fold and you just insert it in the middle. It's this clip system that makes it so unique and that makes it the best academic journal possible, in my opinion. There is nothing like this. It's so beautiful, so perfect. Why is the Taschenbegleiter the best academic journal system there is amongst the 3 that we talked about? Why is the Taschenbegleiter the best? Why not another insert system? So I never really got accustomed to using traveler's notebooks for my academics. Traveler's notebooks are very slim. I'm gonna grab them, hold on. The traveler's notebook is kind of an insert system. It's this beautiful leather that can contain different kinds of inserts, but for academics, it just never worked for me because of the size. This slim size is not enough space for me to really capture everything that's going on in the lecture. I take a lot of notes during class. I am a big note taker and I need a lot of space. So So the traveler's notebook, because of its narrow formatting, it never worked for me, although it is an insert system. First of all, for an academic journal, I think that an insert system is really, really wonderful. Oftentimes for academics, you're not only focusing on one thing, regardless if you're in high school or university or you're studying on your own. For example, let's say you're a high school student and you have to do algebra, history, different kind of subjects. You could divide an academic journal and have a portion for humanities, a portion for sciences, a portion for planning within an insert system. Or for example, if you're in university, you can do the same thing depending on the classes that you're taking that semester. Or say you are studying on your own, you're doing language self-study. You could do one portion is for grammar, one is for vocabulary, and one is for speaking notes. That is why I think that for academics, an insert system is the best, because it allows for compartmentalization without having too much freedom the way you do with a ring binder, because it's very time consuming to put things at the front and then put things at the back. And say, for example, you have one day in which you are only doing grammar. You don't want to take the whole ring binder. I mean, you could take the paper with you, but it's flimsy to carry loose leaf paper around for me. I would rather have an entire notebook with me. The insert system is what I think is the best for studying, for academics, for note-taking, even for different projects as well. It's so versatile, but not too versatile, and it allows for freedom in a very flexible but organized and clean, tidy, neat way. Insert system, go-to for academic journaling. Within the insert system bubble, I think that the Taschenbegleiter is the best. I think it's better than a traveler's notebook because of the clip system. The metal clips mean that you can use any kind of brand to fit into this Taschenbegleiter. For the traveler's notebook, you can only use traveler's notebook inserts. The sizing is not very forgivable. You only can use something that is this narrow, and there's not much room to play with. There are not that many brands that provide that specific narrow size. But with the Taschenbegleiter, you can use different kinds of paper. For example, I like to use a mix of Midori notebooks, but I could also use maybe a moleskin notebook, a large one that I could insert inside, or a Rhodia notebook. And right here, I also have a Stalogy one that I had lying around, so I found use for it in here. I also don't really like systems that use elastics. I think that the Paper Republic also uses elastics, very much like the traveler's notebooks, but instead of being this narrow B6 kind of size, it's more forgivable size-wise, but it still uses the elastic system to hold everything together, to hold the inserts together. Sometimes the writing can be wobbly. It's not super secure all the time. It needs readjusting all the time, especially because I like to keep my notebooks very full and packed. I like to have as much paper as possible within the insert system. Like, I always find ways to keep small notebooks inside, and if there's a pocket, you best believe there's some kind of booklet within it. The traveler's notebook is amazing for different purposes, not for academic journaling in my opinion. For my academics, I like something that adds more space, but at the same time is very secure, and the metal clips do exactly that. They hold everything very, very tightly, and nothing is wobbly, nothing moves around. When I carry this, I feel so secure. This is such a well-designed system. I've never seen anything like it. These metal clips are such a discovery for me. Something very interesting is that they also come out of the Taschenbegleiter. So say you really want to carry around not 3 notebooks, you can also just have it like this and just carry 2 instead of the 3 that are already provided, just by taking out the metal clips. And if you change your mind, you can put them back in. That's it. You can simply go back to having 3 different kinds of notebooks inside. It is so customizable and I love it, love it, love it. I've always loved Midori notebooks, but I don't want to carry multiple around that are not attached because that just feels disorganized to me. I would like to have everything combined into one book. It's generally the best of all worlds. It's the perfect combination of everything everything that I like, paper-wise, size-wise, material-wise, aesthetic-wise. It's so functional and so beautiful. It feels like something that I can keep for decades. Like I can imagine myself holding on to this Taschenbegleiter until I am old. The leather is really, really thick, not thick in a way that makes it heavy to carry. It's thick in a way that feels very durable. Even the felt inside is so protective. Another really good thing also about the Taschenbegleiter is the pen loop. There's this wonderful, wonderful pen loop, which you don't have with the traveler's notebook. The Taschenbegleiter really has everything. It's my dream journal. It's very, very well thought out. The small Taschenbegleiter that I have is a brown leather red band one, and inside the felt is gray. It has these small pockets. The medium one that I have is the one that I use for school. This is my academic journal. This is my whole academic journaling setup. This medium one has this beautiful russet maroon brick orangey color. It's called cognac, I think. And inside it's also orange because the felt is this beautiful clementine color. The back also holds a big pocket, which I was thinking of inserting a big Rhodia notepad in here if I need a notepad when I'm out and about on campus. The beautiful thing also about the Taschenbegleiter is that on the website, when you buy a Taschenbegleiter, for some styles, not for all of them, but for some styles, you can choose which color to have the band be. So for example, for this small one, I could choose between red and black with the brown leather cover, and I chose red. I think brown and red goes really well together. The pockets are such a wonderful addition. For example, the pockets don't have to keep paper inside. You could have a small Kindle be in here or a small tech device like an ink reader. Inside, it's so sturdy. These metal clips have never failed me. They never wobbled. It's just so wonderful how you can use the Taschenbegleiter itself to come up with your own system. From semester to semester, from year to year, from person to person, studying can be such a different experience. So to have something that is customizable enough to give you room to play with, but that at the same time it's organized in a way that you are not doing too much work to keep it tidy, it's just so wonderful and valuable. The medium Taschenbegleiter fits most A5 paper, and the small one is what fits A6 paper. So in here I have two Midori A6 notebooks. One is blank and the other one is grid, and one is for my notes, one is for my planning, and I have an additional Stalogy red blank notebook for my language studying. And in the pocket I have two small notebooks. One is a red moleskin kahir. I never know how to say that thing. And a small light Midori A6 notebook. The pen that I chose is this Leuchtturm Drehgriffel. This is the gel in the vanilla color. I love how it matches the band. I love a Leuchtturm Drehgriffel gel pen. Even the rollerball, it's such an amazing, trustworthy, and reliable pen. So for my notes, I carry this, and that's it. This is my academic journaling setup. This is really something that is just so exciting to work with because it allows you to be creative with your combinations. It's really not about what you can do for the journal. It's what the journal can do for you, and you can make it so that it works for your needs for whichever season in life you find yourself in. And it's also very beautiful. One thing about me is I love something that is both functional and beautiful. So this really hits the spot of that balance that I always try to find in my wardrobe, in my vanity, but also in my office supplies. When I find something that allows me to experience a balance between functional and beautiful, that just makes me so happy. So I haven't seen many people talk about this Taschenbegleiter, so I thought since it's something that really struck that balance for me, maybe it can be useful for someone else. I love this thing. It's very expensive, but I like to invest in things that I think will last me a very, very long time. Journaling is a very important part of my life. Academic journaling even more so. If I can invest into something that makes my studying easier, I am more than happy to. And a good academic journal really is what made my studying so much easier and almost effortless. Being excited about a journal also makes me excited about what the journal is for, because I'm so excited and I'm really happy with the system that I have right right now, I find myself more likely to be excited about studying itself. That really is the power of a good journal. I have learned in my academic path, now that I'm doing my master's and looking back onto my undergrad, but also my high school, my studies overall, I have learned to appreciate the power of a good academic journal. The Tashenbegleiter is for me a wonderful academic journal, so I'm really excited that I got to talk about this today. Can't wait to use it for my lifelong studies, not just in university. Very, very happy with this Taschenbegleiter. This Taschenbegleiter, this pocket companion, truly is my academic companion. It goes everywhere with me, on campus, to the library, to the lectures, to the seminars. It's in my bag at all times. It makes my academic life a bit better. That's it for today. This is my long yapping session. Nothing like a good academic journal. Nothing like it. That's it for today. This is me and my Tashenbegleiter coming to you live from my bedroom. Bye! Bye-bye!